everybody. Welcome back to the One Stop Podcast. As always, it's Brianna and Lindy. Hey, guys. We are
Hi.
going to talk about some F1 right now, and we're going to talk about the opening Grand Prix of the year in Australia.
Yeah, so we're a little late on this episode, but there was a lot to process.
Yeah, life got in the way.
Yeah, but even just the race itself was chaotic.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people had to just like reel in everything that happened the Australian weekend and be like, okay, yeah, so we're gonna pretend that race didn't happen, and the China GP will be our first race of the year.
It's okay. It's not okay. I'm still
Yeah.
healing. Clearly haven't fixed that part of my soul. But, Australia was very entertaining at its core. That race took so many cars. Unforgiving. That was crazy.
Very heartbreaking. 6 total cars.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Australia, and I threaded this. I remember because I was like, Australia saw the Brazil GP last year and said, hold my shoey.
Yeah.
It was like, it's my turn because I'm turning it up a notch. And wow, did that weather change everything?
Everything. But even if we just look at the formation lap first with Isaac Kajar, that broke my heart. I think it broke everyone's heart.
It did. I was not prepared to be up at like 11 o'clock at night, ready to cry.
Yeah.
I was not ready for this. I was like, we are starting too strong with the emotions here. Oh my goodness. It was just so, I was so happy when Anthony Hamilton went over.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I do not care what Helmet says that having emotions is embarrassing. No, we're talking about a rookie. This was his first official race at F1,
Right.
and he sacks it into the wall on his formation lap.
Yeah.
I would cry too. Like, not just because I'm a girl, but if I was a guy, I would cry too because you were looking forward to so much, and before it even started, you were already out.
Exactly. And you've only trained for this, worked for this your entire life.
Yeah.
You're here. And it doesn't go the way that you planned, or anyone would plan, honestly. Yeah, I'm crying too. I get frustrated. When I get angry and frustrated, I cry. And when I play volleyball, I think I want to say I cried maybe like 5 times when I got too overwhelmed with the pressure of the game and things not going my way. And I know I can do better than this. And that's exactly what he's feeling, but it's like tenfold. The world was watching.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. They were shoving so many cameras in his face. Like, you're already feeling so much pressure. And then now you have millions of people watching you and the camera's just shoved in your face and you're like crying. And then thank gosh for Anthony Hamilton for coming in, giving him a big old hug, speaking words of encouragement into his ear and just letting him know like, hey, I'm here for you. Like, you look up to Lewis and I'm here for you because I'm a dad. And like, even he was like, he hit a spot in my heart where I was like, I have to go be a dad to him.
Yes, and we need that. We need a Paddock Dad sign up.
Yes.
Sign up sheet. We can put one out on the podcast Instagram. If you're going to bring snacks and Capri Suns and pep talks, we're here for it because honestly, it takes a village to get a professional athlete to the top.
Yeah, and I said this on our TikTok earlier today, but I said Paddock Wag or like Paddock Dads.
Paddock Dads.
And Anthony Hamilton is starting it off.
He's number 1, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, let's see. Isaac wasn't the last one to be taken. You know who broke my heart? Was Carlos.
Oh.
That one was hard because I was so frustrated that was his start.
That one broke my heart too because I remember it just all of a sudden pans to Carlos and I was like, what happened? What? No! And he was on my fantasy league team. I had so much hope for him and I was like, oh no. And I had the double points on him too.
Oh no, that was not the weekend for that. Dang.
No, but
that's okay. We live and we learn. No one was expecting that. I mean, he was so solid prior to. I mean, it was just a crazy time trying to get around that track with the changing weather.
Yeah.
He's going to learn that car. I mean, Lewis had a hard time learning that car too. Lewis was struggling to get that car to turn. He was trying.
I mean, if you think about it, it's like not just a driver and the car. Like, the two must become one, literally. So it takes a pretty good adjustment period for someone to go from a Ferrari car to a Williams car or to go from a Mercedes car to a Ferrari car, like there's going to be a learning curve.
Programs are different, culture is different, steering wheel is different,
Mm-hmm.
everything's different about that way that the car responds. It is just gonna take a few races. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
fine. They know that they've got that learning curve ahead of them and they're willing to go through it, which is, you know, a big point to be made. To everyone, because I feel like I need to say it again, even though we put it to bed. I'm gonna put it back to bed again. Let's not even start this debate about him and his radios with his engineer.
K1! Lewis
Okay.
K1. Lewis K1.
Okay, because Charles was saying the same thing too, over and over and over again. And you don't need to be that persistent if you know your driver's got it. But they are just trying to find their language and how they speak together and how he's learning the car and he's under pressure. And he said please after everything. So
Yeah. No, he did say please at the end of thing. And
everything.
Charles was just as sassy on his radio. Like, let's put that to the words of wisdom.
Yeah, even
like,
though
there
he
was
knows
sass.
it's an inside joke, but it's sass.
Yeah.
It's sass. He's a sassy king. They all were on point with those radios. But that
Ollie.
Oh, man.
He had a rough weekend though.
Yeah.
Like just from practice to quali to the race, like it was a rough start for him. And I think he definitely has the most experience rookie wise, but he just was not having a good weekend with his car.
I agree. You know, learning curve. This isn't Ferrari Academy anymore. It's Haas. It's different. It's way different. And I think he's trying to adjust to that like the other drivers are, but he doesn't have as much experience as like Lewis does or Carlos does hopping into a different type of car. But he is going to figure it out. That's for sure.
Let's see. Jack Doohan.
Oh, poor Jack.
Another one into the wall, and Alonso, another rookie into the wall.
Hey, forever rookie, you know, he's out here learning and figuring it out himself. He tried.
Honestly, everything's just kind of like flowing together.
I don't know how I've managed to survive with the sleep. I'm actually so proud of you, by the way, taking a minute out of this podcast to say, I am proud of Lindy. This year is the first year Homegirl has actually gotten up to watch the races in the middle.
Oh my gosh. I did a little bit last year, but it did not last long. Like when I first became a fan, I got up at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season, I was like, whatever, I'm going to bed. I'll just watch it when I wake up in the morning.
The FOMO is real though, so I'm like,
I don't. Which is fine if you do that, but the FOMO is real, and I think that's what's driving me is I don't want to miss the FOMO in the live threads.
Yeah, it's threading with the community. It's being awake with the people all at the same time and just like enjoying it because reactions and being able to talk to people live is so fun.
Yeah,
it really makes the race. What also made the race for me is a sad point, but a touching point, which is Oscar.
Should have been a McLaren 1-2. Should have been.
Yeah. Oscar was another person who tore at my heartstrings, not because he spun out and everything went wrong, but because he refused to let that be the end of his story, and he did everything in his power to finish as high as he could, and he was not going to be counted out. And that to me is the most prime example of an athlete and somebody unwilling to accept no for an answer.
Yeah, that boy was like, oh, I'm beached? No biggie. I'm not getting out of this car and putting a DNF at the label of, you know, my Australia GP race, like my home race. Like, no. I think he was probably in his head like, remember this summer break, how I learned how to reverse on a tractor? We're going to turn this F1 car into a tractor and we're going to reverse ourselves out of this grass. And that's what he did.
That was crazy to me. I was just like, and everybody getting on their feet was just so
the grandstands. Yeah. I wish I could have been there. I'm sure all the energy just came together and was insane.
Yeah, no, I would have been cheering like, oh my god, go off, Oscar! That's
yeah,
my baby. Oh my god, like a mom. Like I'd be like one of those like volleyball moms because they get like all emotional. That is like literally like the pinnacle of the sport. Like, don't ever count me out, and I love.
Yeah, don't give up. And
Love
he did not give up. He went from going to the back of the grid, working his way back up to P10. What is it? The last lap of the race goes on the outside of Lewis, like
that.
to overtake him. A beautiful overtake, by the way.
For
And
that.
then goes P9 and gets more into the points.
Yeah, that was fantastic drive for him.
Amazing.
Recovery. We won't say
Yeah.
drive, a recovery, because he had to put up with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know who also did as well in the race was Max.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say someone else, but yeah, Max did good too.
Well, he fought that car the entire time. And I
Mm-hmm.
think everybody was a little surprised at what the Red Bull looked like this year. We knew that last year was a change, and we're like, "Ooh, what is this Red Bull?" But this year is like he's really going to have to fight every
Yeah,
race to place.
but I think it shows how amazing of a driver Max is to still finish on the podium and fight through that car, and it shows his skill when, and not just saying Liam, but just all of his teammates in the past when they're like literally the very last driver,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then he's on the podium. Like you really just gotta know that car and be a good driver.
Agreed. It can be done. He's a
Yeah,
type.
Max shows it's done, but Max is also one of a kind.
Max is one of a kind, and he is going to fight through it no matter what. Who were you going to say?
I was gonna say Kimmy and Albon.
Oh, I like those choices. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I mean Kimmy's debut race, he what? Okay, so he the race ended at P5 and Alex Albon was P4, but it got swapped. So Kimmy actually got P4 and Alex Albon actually got P5. But
Mm-hmm.
still, amazing result for Kimmy for his first race. And then hello, a Williams in P4 or P5. Either way,
I
a
know.
Williams.
A Williams. A Williams. This is what everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
Both of them. Kimmy, prodigy. Everybody was like, this kid is it. He's Mr. F1 to be. Albon, for the longest time, people have been talking about his consistency and his skill, and he just wasn't able to showcase it as well in a car that wasn't working with him. But they really have built that program around him as a driver,
Mm-hmm.
and it is showing. Finally, it is coming through, because do not sleep on Alex this season
Yeah.
at all.
And did you see where Carlos was actually one of the biggest reasons on why Alex finished so high up?
He did.
Yeah.
He's
Oh, so poetic.
strategist, little engineer
Yes.
strategist at heart, Carlos. Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, basically when Carlos did not finish, he was up at the pit wall, saw that rain coming in, and was like, I'm going to make the bold decision right now. You guys need to call Alex Albon in to change his tires because that's when things are going to shift for everyone. And the best call that could have been made that really saved Alex, and that's why he placed so high.
I agree.
Between his driving and between Carlos's call,
sometimes you
chef's
just
kiss.
feel it, that intuition, that instinct
Yeah.
as a driver, you know when that time is. Speaking
And
of,
I like that they listened to Carlos too.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, speaking of, like, I like that they actually like took it into account and put it into like action. You know who also was being listened to fairly well by their team? Your boy, Lando. I was like,
Oh,
he was on the radio and he was just calm, cool, collected the whole time. I was like, who is this diva? Who is this
oh my
man?
gosh.
It was
He has, I think, grown a lot from last season, emotionally, mentally. Like,
yeah.
that opening lap, he was great. Turn one, most people are like, oh, Lando's gonna bottle it at turn one or at the start. No, he was great.
He was
Cool,
fine.
calm, collected. All the radios. He was like, I'm calling the shots. I don't think we need to be doing that. We need to be doing this. And they're like, okay, Lando, like if that's what you think.
Yeah, the confidence is there and he is decisive, and I really, really like that. I was just like very impressed. I was like, okay, Lando, so you are ready to come to play.
Yeah, I don't know like what really shifted for him over the summer break or the winter break, but yeah, whatever it was, like,
it's working.
Thank goodness it's working.
It's working for sure. But yeah, I think those were my highlights. Besides seeing everybody shifted for the first time, like in a race weekend, like on their new teams, which was, kind of funny to get your brain wrapped around it at first.
I have one more.
You have one more?
Only because I made a TikTok video about it this
Oh,
morning.
stop. What did you say?
Nico Hulkenberg in the Sauber,
Oh, yeah.
what, P7 ahead of both Ferraris.
He drove the wheels off that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Nico is
amazing.
he's pretty good. I was
Hmm.
surprised by that too. I'm surprised at how much Sauber was talked about that weekend up in the
Yeah,
north.
it's just like teams that you wouldn't normally see, and maybe because of everyone else that was out of the race, but you saw some amazing driving in there once the rain came down.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Everybody kicked it in high gear.
Hmm.
I definitely think this year was it's a re-evening of the field because like it's like you people are asking me like what do you think about a podium? Really couldn't tell you.
I'm not sure. I mean,
Really
I
couldn't
could
tell you.
probably confidently say that like there's going to be a McLaren up there,
Yep.
but as far as everyone else, like I'm going to say maybe Max, maybe a Ferrari.
Okay,
But
let's
at
talk
this
about George.
point,
What? George
George.
just pops up out of freaking nowhere and is like, "Oh, hi guys, I'm P3."
So many thoughts about George. I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay. I think I'm gonna give an honest opinion here, okay? Because like I'm a diehard Ferrari girl. I'm level headed though at the same time. I think that of course that program was built around Lewis for how many years at Mercedes because of his success, obviously. Now that that's gone and they've shifted the program to George and more towards his driving style, George is going to excel so much more than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And any of those conditions, also like in Australia when the weather came down and it did cool it down. We all know Mercedes like to run in the cool. Their car does well that way. Um, Homeboy is going to play that strategy the rest of this season. I'll bet you anything that he's just going to hang out and be like, cool, guys, you're not even going to notice I'm here. And then bam, at the end, pop up, I'm on the podium.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling too, is that I think as a whole, George is a great driver. I think he is kind of underrated, at least when like Lewis was there, because like you said, the program was made around Lewis and then George was kind of in the background, but I think he's a great driver. But he has some of the best luck I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like yes, it is great driving, but also some of it is just like, wow, let's just let these two in front of me battle it out and I'm gonna land an easy spot on the podium. Or it's gonna be, my name is George Russell. We're in the middle of qualifying. We have a McLaren 1-2, but I'm going to find time that they didn't and magically separate the 1-2 where it's now a 1-3 and I'm in the middle of them.
Yeah, he's good with tires. He's really good with
Mm-hmm.
tire management, and that is his skill set for sure. Like that takes him to the end, and nobody sees it because everyone's always just focusing on the other battles, and he's just
Yeah,
in the middle of them, like you said, just in the middle of them, just like, hey guys.
but he is one to watch. And I think Kimmy makes a great addition to the team now. I think they make a great duo.
I agree.
There's a lot to expect from those two. So yeah, like you just never know who's going to be on the podium, but for sure you could probably guess it's going to be a McLaren, it's going to be a Max, it's going to be, a George or a Ferrari.
I agree with that. I don't know what Ferrari because
Depends on the race.
yeah, they'll switch that out. But yeah, I can't wait to see Kimmy up there.
Yes, yes.
That'd be great. But yeah,
I think I think Kimmy will probably be, if we do see a rookie on the podium this year, I think the first one will probably be Kimmy.
Kimmy is just like unreal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but also let's quickly talk about Yuki. Yuki cooked.
Yeah, yeah, Yuki. Yuki was great.
Yeah, he
Wow.
was like, you guys are overlooking me, and I'm going to show you what you're missing.
Bam. Just like that. We like it.
Yeah, we love to see it.
We do love to see it. Thank you, Yuki. That's our rundown on the Australian Grand Prix. It was as chaotic as the race was, but I mean, you guys know us by now. We just run with it.
Our thoughts just whoop.
Just run with it. Don't even fight it. Let it come out. But, I am really excited for the season. I can't wait to keep talking about some more of these races.
Same. Yeah, I'm ready to see what the season has for us.
Absolutely. It's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time, you guys.
Bye.